Well, Jeffrey here again. A few days later, and remember I said I was concerned about the clutch being stuck. We're looking in an inspection hole in the bottom. Now, from what I've read, somewhere in late 27 or early 28, they went from a multi-disc clutch to a single plate clutch. This is the earlier one, and you can actually see the different plates here. This is the first one, and then there's 3 more behind it. I think you can see the bottom of the last one hanging down there. Now when I looked in the clutch housing, there was mouse nest in there, but you can see it didn't look too corroded. But it was still stuck. And from what I've read about people restoring these tractors, one of the biggest issues is the clutch, because many times the whole thing is packed full of mouse nests through that timing hole I showed earlier on the front is where they would get in, and the whole clutch assembly would be one rusted tight hunk of rusted steel. Now I turned the clutch some, and this side, as you can see, is rustier. This is the part that had been to the bottom, and when I pushed on those plates with a screwdriver, they didn't wiggle here. So I reached in with a screwdriver and tapped on that plate, and if you look underneath, you can see the edges of the other ones, and I could just catch the edges of them with the screwdriver, and tapped on them with a hammer on the screwdriver, and lo and behold, the clutch plates freed up. So now the clutch does turn. It's quite rusty and drags, but at least I got it loose, and with use it'll polish up real quick. So I guess I was one of the lucky people. Now I was going to just start cleaning it up, the crankcase, washing in there some more, and the cylinders, and start to reassemble it. Now, before I started to clean up more, I decided to look in the water jacket. And I think if you look in there, I got a screwdriver in there. There's probably about 3/4 of an inch of mud down in the bottom of the water jacket. So I decided I'm going to get that cleaned out first. So I'll be taking this water outlet off the block and flushing the water jacket all out there, and I'll probably be taking this fitting off the radiator, because I'll be able to get into the bottom of the bottom water tank there, and also see about flushing that out good. So I'm going to get in the process of doing that. Now I'm going to make some temporary cardboard gaskets for these covers, so when I wash out the block, I don't have all the water and mud draining down on the crankcase. It'll just be that much more to clean out later. And just like that, you can see the pattern for the gasket. It just never ceases to amaze me how easy the bolts all come off on this. Oh, more mouse nest. Look at the amount of sediment in there. And look at the stuff in the water jacket. Well, with the amount of mouse nest in there, I can only assume, and you know about assume, that this thing sat at one time inactive for a long period of time with either the radiator cap off or maybe a water hose rotted off that mice got in it. Because with it closed up and coolant in it, mice couldn't have got in it. So, and also, if you look at this cylinder, there was a spot down in there with a little rust pitting. And that's normally at the level of where the top of the piston was, but that isn't where it was when I took it apart. So I'm thinking that this tractor sat inactive at one other point in its life, maybe when the guy made it into a reverse loader, that he salvaged the tractor, and these signs took place from before when he salvaged it. Now I have to finish draining the radiator so I can stick a screwdriver or wire in there and see how much mud is in the bottom of the radiator tank. Now look what's in the lower radiator. And so I think I may be taking the radiator off so I can tilt it to clean that lower tank out better. And just look what comes out of the engine block. So I'm going to get to work at cleaning that all out. Just to give you a little idea of what I'm digging out of there, and look how it comes out. There is a lot in there. Just look at it. Just handfuls. And all of it always seems to have like fuzz in it, fibers, so I'm thinking that thing had a lot of mouse nest in it at one time. It's just never ending. So this is what I've dug out of the water jacket so far. I'd estimate that maybe be half of it, and that's just what I've caught. You know, a lot of it has gotten by that I haven't hung on to, but I just kind of want to give you an all idea how much is actually in that water jacket. And so far, Here, you can see I plugged up the holes where the push rod tubes go. I've been to try and keep them clean, because the less that gets in down there, the less there is to clean out, and a better chance of having it clean when I'm done. And I thought of a better way to plug those holes before I really start using air pressure and water pressure in the water jacket. So what I decided I would do is I pulled those plugs out of the holes, rags out of the holes, and I doubled up denim, laid them across the top, and then I cut a 2x4 and drilled holes in it, because two of the head studs are in line with those holes, and I put in the 2x4 over it, and then I'll put nuts on the head studs and tighten it down, so then debris won't get down where the push rod tubes go and the oil passages. So tomorrow I'll probably get to work at cleaning out with water and air pressure. I want to make some kind of a tube on the end of an air hose and a water hose to reach down in and blast in there. So thanks again for watching.